Hey everyone, I'm Dave with Beastmade Reviews. Of course, a channel dedicated to reviewing quality at different price points. Today, I'm going to be talking about this guitar, which is $75, and why I think you need one. Now, of course, many of you know that I love guitar. I have a few different videos on guitar. I have one, of course, on Yamaha guitars, which I love. I think they're great for their price point, and I have a couple other things on the way as well. Today, I want to talk about this guitar by Glarry Guitars, or Glarry Instruments. They make a few different things. And this is a $75 guitar. It's probably the cheapest guitar I've ever seen. And why should you get this? Well, I like talking about quality at different price points, and I do realize that there are people who just want the best. I realize that. I have videos on things I think are the best. Some things I think are just really good value, like the Yamaha guitars. And this one is probably the cheapest guitar I think you can get, and I think that it's really worth it at this price point. Now, I've been playing guitar for a long time, since I've been a teenager, and it's just one of those things that is more than just a hobby. Hobbies come and go, but this has always just stayed with me, and it's been a source of comfort and enjoyment and just a solitude of sorts. And I love guitar. I have some nice guitars, really high-end guitars. My dream guitar is a Parker Fly, and I'll talk about that in a different episode, but I have that, and it's amazing. It's about $2,500 when I bought it back in the early 2000s. And I have this as well. This is a Fender Strat, an American-made Fender Strat. I got this back in about 2005 or so, and I really love this. This is very, very high-end. I love it. But I was looking at Glarry guitars. I saw some videos of them online, and I thought, you know, I really would like just a really cheap guitar, like a beater guitar. And so I contacted them. They sent me one for review. I would have gotten one anyway, but they gladly sent me one for review, so I really appreciate that. I think everyone needs a type of beater guitar, which is just a cheap guitar that you can just beat up. You're not worried about if it gets dings or scratches, or, you know, if anything breaks. You're not worried about if, you know, the pickups aren't right, or if the frets aren't completely level. You're not worried about a lot of things. You can buy something really, really cheap. That's what this is, I think. I've been using this a lot for practice, and I really love it. This could be a great guitar for travel. If you want to go traveling somewhere, don't get one of those cheap travel guitars that I think are just worthless. Get a real guitar, but just get a real cheap one that you don't mind beating up. This could be a great kind of educational tool if you want to mod it, teach yourself how to mod the electronics on a guitar. This could be a great gift for someone just starting to learn guitar. If you're not sure if they want to stick with guitar for the rest of their life, you can get something that's $75. I think that's a great deal. Or if you just want to buy this for yourself just because it's a really cheap guitar, they have several different types of guitars on their website, on Glarry's website, like Telecasters and different style strats and other instruments like ukuleles and banjos and different things like that. So definitely go check out Glarry Instruments. This, of course, is a Strat style guitar. It looks like a Stratocaster. It has everything that you would expect from a Stratocaster, the single coil pickups, the 5-way selector. Everything that you would expect is here, all the frets. This is $75. It's really cheap. And I almost don't expect anything out of this price range. I understand that. For $75, I'm okay with that. I'll list some of the specs on the screen here so you can see that. This is a really lightweight guitar. The body is made of basswood, which is really light. And I believe the neck is made of maple, or maybe it's also made of basswood, I'm not sure, but it is a very light guitar. It's actually very resonant too, very loud, which really surprised me. I was actually surprised at how much I would like this. I knew it was going to be something that I kind of just put up with. I wanted something that I could fight with a little bit, something that I could practice, and it would be not as easy as, you know, something that's absolutely perfect like I already have. But I wasn't expecting to like it this much, and that was the biggest thing. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's wrong with it? I would say that this is definitely not perfect. There are some things that are wrong with it. But like I said, for $75, I'm willing to overlook all of these things. It doesn't take away from the playability. As long as this thing plays, that's all I expect for $75. The rest of the things, the rest of the problems here are kind of just things that I can just get over, really, for this price point. So the back of the neck is unfinished, and it is kind of rough in some spots where it just needed an extra sanding, the extra pass on the sander. And it's fine, it's not uncomfortable, but it needs some extra sanding. The nut is plastic and it's not perfect. You can tell that it was just done really quickly. I'm sure that it catches some as well if you tune it. There's actually a ding right on the neck by the nut, and I didn't even notice that until I started making this video. Frets are actually surprisingly good. I was expecting them to be all over the place, but there's only one high fret at the 12th fret, and I can live with that. The fret edges, they're not rolled over, they're just really done really quickly. They don't feel bad necessarily, but they're not smooth like a really high-end guitar. There's no fret sprout at all, which that's pretty good as well. Whenever I received this, the action was extremely high, unplayably high. So I took out the truss rod, adjusted the truss rod, lowered the action, changed the pickup height, and adjusted the intonation, and now it plays beautifully. So yeah, you can make this playable. Just make sure that you adjust it to your liking. Everything that comes on here is very, very cheap. So you get very cheap hardware, you get very cheap electronics. The pickups on here are single coils. They sound kind of like a Strat, you know. I'm sure that they're all the same type of coil for all three positions. They don't sound terrible, but they're not the best Strat single coils I've ever heard. Everything works fine on here. There were 2 layers of protective plastic on the pick guard, which I find really funny. I hate the extra plastic on the pick guard. You just take that off and then you have to unscrew everything and then take the little bits of plastic off. Here, there were 2 layers of that, so you have to do that, and then there's, you know, extra plastic sticking everywhere, so that was just an inconvenience. I haven't cleaned up the plastic, so you can still see some extra plastic on the screws and by the neck and things like that. One thing on here on the electronics, one of the tone knobs wasn't screwed in all the way, so you can tell that it doesn't stop like it's supposed to and has kind of a spongy give to it where the nut needs to be screwed in harder there. So they just went really quick with that. The finish looked fine to me, though I'm sure that there probably are some spots that needed some extra buffing, but I haven't really double check that, and it wasn't really a high priority to me. I really like the way this looks. I like this tobacco burst on the black pickguard. I really like that look. The biggest thing to me that I didn't like are the tuners themselves. These tuners are very cheap and they feel cheap. They have a lot of give to them. They're kind of skippy. They're not great. But all that being said, they don't go out of tune really. So I'll live with it. For $75, I'm not gonna really pay to upgrade those. So I'll live with it. But those are probably the thing I like the least, or hate really, about this guitar. The neck is very thick, kind of like a 50s style Gibson neck, very, very thick. And one of the thickest necks I've played. And I like that, but some people will not. Some people will not be used to that, and some people will find it hard to play, especially if they have smaller hands. So that might be something that some people might not like. But even with all its flaws, for $75, I am thrilled with what this guitar is. I was not expecting to really like this. I was expecting to just put up with it and have just something that I can practice. But I like it. That was the biggest surprise to me. It's very resonant. And it's very, very loud. It has this springy feel to it, this bouncy, springy feel to it whenever you play it. Very interesting. It's very lightweight. I really like that a lot. I love the finish on this. I love that it comes in several different finishes. It comes in like a blue and I think a black and red and different things like that. There's a blue sunburst I think looks incredible. Almost got that one, but I really like this tobacco sunburst a lot. Like I said, I really like the neck. I like thicker necks, and that feels great for me, for my hands. But I'm really pleased with this guitar. It's not comparable to a custom shop Fender or a Suhr Custom or anything like that. It's $75. You get what you pay for, but I think that you get a really good deal for what you pay for. It's a really good guitar. This guitar is for somebody, and I think it's for many different people if you don't mind having a very cheap guitar. One of the things I really like is that it comes with a gig bag, it comes with a strap, it comes with a cable, and comes with some hardware and a pick that comes with it. All that is free. And though none of those are really good, they're not great at all, it's all free. And if you're just starting off with a guitar, you get everything right there. And having the gig bag, even though it's a very cheap, flimsy gig bag, is still really convenient, even for a guitar like this. It's not going to protect the guitar like maybe a really good mono case or something, but it's just really convenient where you can store it, put it away. It's not gonna get any dust on it. It's easy to get in and out of a little tight area. And I'm just surprised that they include free stuff with this at all. Now I'm gonna play some clips of how this guitar sounds, and I know it's probably not something that everyone really asks for, how a guitar that's $75 sounds, but I thought it'd be important. I'll show that at the end of this video. Overall, I really am surprised at how much I like this guitar. Practicing with it has been a real pleasure and joy. And I was not expecting that for $75. I was expecting something that was almost unplayable. And this is very playable. It's very nice and very light and resonant. And I just could not be more pleased with how good a $75 guitar is. Yeah, it's really imperfect in some spots, but for the money, I think it's great. And I think that you need to get this guitar to beat up, to practice with, to travel with, to mod, to do anything your heart can think of. Definitely check out Glarry guitars. Now, the audio clips of this guitar are playing through my Line 6 Helix with the matchless amp setting and 2 Celestion IRs. A little bit of reverb and a little bit of delay on that as well. So I'll have that playing at the very end. What do you think of Glarry guitars? I'd love to know your thoughts. If you've had any experience with it, let me know down in the comments. And what do you think of cheap guitars in general? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to smash that like, subscribe down below, of course, I love you for it, and click that little bell so you get a notification every time I make an upload. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy the clips. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with Beastmade Reviews.